Good morning, traders. Thanks for joining me this morning. It is Thursday, the 16th of October, 2025. This is episode number 2702. I want to remind you that derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So let's just go right into the convergent trading pre-market summary sheet. Mild risk on this morning. We're seeing some lifting, a little bit of lifting in the equities so far. The lead, of course, again, is gold in our gold and silver. Again, pushing over 1%, just a race to the top on the metals. Copper coming off again. Copper kind of stuck here. Other than that, seeing crude being very, very light again. Very, very light again. You could see that the relative range and relative volume are around 50% in crude. So it is in a holding pattern in the 58 handle. And so it is just it's interesting because yesterday it looked like it was breaking out and it just came right back in. As far as key earnings, Travelers came out this morning. There are several that have come out as well. Charles Schwab, Interactive Brokers, and CSX after the close. I'm not going to cover earnings; it just takes too long. In terms of themes and economic events, Philly Fed higher than expected. UK GDP in line with expected. EU balance trade lower than expected. The U.S. government continues to be shut down, believe it or not. We're going for a record here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Everything is up in the air. So there's again a lot of central bank quack talkers today. U.S. President Trump said they are in a trade war with China. That's always nice. And he also said that the Indian PM Modi assured him that they won't buy Russian oil. India buys a whole lot of oil from Russia, so we'll see how that plays out. China's statement downplaying rare earth export restrictions. And then French PM Le Carnot survives the first round of no confidence motion in the parliament yesterday in France. Taiwan Semiconductor tops earnings expectations and raises guidance. Oracle analyst meeting today. Again, not going to go through the calendar. Everybody here has a calendar. NAHB at 10 o'clock is relatively important. We have the crude oil inventories today coming out 11 because of the holiday on Monday, and then other than that, you have you have what you have. So, if you need a calendar recommendation, let us know. The auction condition in the S&P itself is what do we have here this morning? Okay. Yeah, the auction condition so far this morning, pretty balanced. It has pushed up a little bit from where we were yesterday. Remember, yesterday looked like it was running for back to the SOC where the China news came out last Friday, and then it turned around the 67 area, and it actually ended up pushing back down to the 66.50. And what we've done is we've drifted back up to 67.40 currently trading. That's a live price that you see there on the chart, 67.4475. The volume is pretty decent. We have pretty strong volume so far, 161,000 contracts, and the inventory is 56% long. So there's a slight imbalance to the buy side, but nothing heavy. The range is also pretty decent at 44 points so far, and that's what we have on the S&P. Yesterday, let's just do a quick recap here. This is from yesterday's video. What we have here, what we're looking at here is going through what the market looked like it was setting up, and I had discussed that we are opening in an open auction. I expected the open auction, in a gap. I expected the gap to result in an open auction that dips, but overall was looking for it to push to 67.70. If you recall, yesterday it did pull back a little bit. It went through the mid of the gap and then pushed right up to 67.67 basically. I'm just rounding. So it stopped 3 points short of the primary scenario. So that was done. I found it hard to read again these last couple days. Relatively difficult to read. No, this is not frozen. It is actually a still shot of yesterday's video. So this is an actual YouTube video. See, you can talk. Stop talking. The secondary was to roll back over and push back down into the 66.80 zone. Yesterday we ended up pushing to 66.51. So check on number 2 as well. So what are we looking for in the 66.80 area? I was looking for prior settle to get tested if we break into the range. Again, this is the action kind of plays both ways. So it's really important to stick to your stops in this kind of environment. So here's what we've got: ES, NQ, crude, and the Russell. And you could see crude completely sideways, just frozen in time here. We've been, yesterday after pushing higher, we came back and we put in an overlapping, almost exactly an overlapping point of control in crude. So we had a point of control yesterday that's in line with the prior day's point of control. Crude has tested higher and was unable to continue, came back into balance of the prior day. So crude, man, I think I toned down my my profile too much. Let's bring it back up. Let's bring it up to about 15%. Set that. So you could see right in here the prior day's point of control, and this is yesterday's point of control in crude. What do we have up here in the ES? Prior day's point of control, yesterday's point of control in the ES, overlapping, and the ES tested higher and came back into value. The prior day we tested lower, came back into value. So excuse me. So we came down, found our buyers, balanced up near the high. Open up, tested higher, came back down, found balance against the prior day's excuse me, the prior day's point of control. And so we are in line. What we have so far this morning, going into a sneezing fit here, 1 second. What we have this morning is that even though it pushed higher, we still have a weak high. It's a great time to get into a sneezing fit. Excuse me. Excuse me. That's a new one. Been doing this a while and haven't had that kind of a thing. Same thing in a NASDAQ. Point of control. Point of control. Point of control and point of control. And we're shifting that up overnight. Pretty weak high overnight, pretty poor high. So we're seeing the same thing. The Russell. The Russell, a little bit better. The Russell has a little bit more structure. The problem with the Russell, and I traded it yesterday, is it's a bit of a runner. It's a wide index, 2,000 stocks, but it's full of small caps. Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened here. Hang on one second. A complete, um, a complete fit. Okay. So here we are again in the market profile chart. And what we've done is we've opened, tested higher, came back, broke the IB to the downside, tested, put in an excess low, and then came back and closed outside of the IB, but pretty close to mid. And we've climbed since. To me, this looks like a false attempt higher. We've seen what it did below into the 6,600. We've seen what it did above into the 6770 that was mentioned yesterday. And here we find ourselves in the middle. So yet again, we're opening up in a condition a little bit like yesterday, where we had this kind of channel pushing higher, and then we end up with kind of a false breakout. And again, we're accepting the volume in the middle of the range. That's the key piece here. So as I look at, okay, what does this mean? So what does this mean in terms of what is likely to happen? So this is what it has done. What it's trying to do now is push up and through the 6750 area up here is pretty important. Push up and through here. It has tried to push down and through the 6700. In my opinion, it's likely to test higher and come right back into the mid and consolidate here. We're opening in the range, so we have about a 70% historical probability of touching prior settle based on our market stats report that I showed yesterday. And so the primary scenario is expected to be responsive. It's expected to be responsive this morning. We'll see. I'm prepared for either side. It just needs to set up, give me a decent setup. I want to see how it pushes, the quality of the push, and then looking for a decent setup to trade from that side. Whether it's short or long, I'm not really attached. A pullback to the mid, a squeeze higher, consolidate, looking for it to push towards the high, but I doubt that it'll have enough escape velocity this morning to get out of here. Those are the two main scenarios in the S&P, barring news. Now, there are a lot of Fed speakers today. There's probably something that Trump is going to say or do today. It's one of those days. And so we have to wait and see. But just be aware of the 6770 above. Be aware of way down here into the 6620. Those are kind of the big areas. It's more likely to come back to the scene of the crime up here at 6792 from here than anything else. Remember, despite the fact that we went up and came back down yesterday, we still put in a high. We had a low. We put in a ever so slightly higher low with a higher point of control. So we had a point of control down here, and now it's stabilizing value-wise, but price action-wise, we had a higher high, higher lows coming in from yesterday. So it is starting to pull back up and head towards the higher end of the range. That's the S&P for you. The NASDAQ looks just about the same. The NQ didn't quite finish cleaning up as well as the S&P did, but the NQ is filling in. Again, the NQ, same thing. 1 second. Uh, the NQ ended up putting in a higher low, higher high. We had the NQ with 3 points of control overlapping each other. So it is stabilizing in this area. We are actually liking this area, this 25,000 zone in the NQ. But overall, given the price action, we are likely, the weak structure is above us, right? The weak structure is above us, and we're looking to fill that in over time. Sorry about all the distractions today. It's just, there's a lot going on. The overall, the crude, the way crude is looking is not so hot for the buyers. I mean, this thing is looking to squeeze, is pushing into the apex of this triangle, but what it's done is it pushed higher and it came in and it put in again points of control overlapping and holding the lower end of the range. To me, crude looks weak. Barring news, crude is likely to flush to the downside and start moving towards that 56 area below. So I'm looking for that. I'll be watching for crude today, but remember, crude has very weak relative range and volume. It seems like everybody's in a holding stance in that product. I'll leave you with that. I'll catch you tomorrow morning again. Until then, watch your risk and only trade your setups. Pick your spots. In this type of market, pick your spots. It's easy to get run over. Take care.